Welcome back to the Digital Agora, the podcast where we dive deep into the fascinating questions people are asking online and connect their unfiltered answers to the science of social psychology. I'm your host, Nathaniel.
And I'm Colleen, and today we're grappling with two fundamental human behaviors: the dissonance between our values and wallets, and the subtle, often unspoken rules of romantic attraction. Let's jump right in.
Okay, so for our first question, posted anonymously on a major online forum, someone asks, why do consumers continue to buy products from corporations they know are unethical, like fast fashion brands? So for the first question, I'm going to read each one of them. So the first one is, it comes down to economic reality. When you're budgeting, the ethical choice is often 3 or 4 times the price. I know H&M isn't great, but if I need a professional shirt for an interview, I don't have $80 for a slow fashion brand. I just don't. I deal with the guilt later. So for the second response, it says here that because the alternative is too hard, it is not just fast fashion, it's everything. Your phone, your coffee, the car you drive. Once you start pulling that thread, you realize everything is tainted. So people use denial or they rationalize by saying, well, my one purchase doesn't make a difference, and they buy what's convenient. For the third and final response related to this question, it says here that for me, it's about social identity. Fast fashion lets me keep up with trends. It's how I signal belonging to my friend group. If I wore something out of style because it was ethical, I'd be out of place. It's shallow, I know, but fitting in is a huge driver, especially when you're young.
These responses are a perfect snapshot of the mental gymnastics we all perform. The key psychological process here is dissonance reduction. People rarely change their behavior. It's too hard. Instead, they change their beliefs to justify the behavior. That illustrates the power of external justification. When the cost of doing the right thing is too high, we simply tell ourselves, I had no choice. It was an economic necessity. The situational constraint is seen as the reason, overriding our ethical attitude.
And response number 2, that cynical attitude about everything being tainted, well, I gotta say, I gotta give it to him or her because she or maybe he ate that one up.
That taps into two major mechanisms. First, trivialization. My one purchase doesn't make a difference. This minimizes the conflict's importance. Second, and more broadly, it speaks to system justification theory, the motivation to defend the status quo. It's easier to accept the system as broken but unavoidable than to dedicate your life to fighting it.
And finally, response number 3, points to our friends.
That's social identity theory in action. Our drive to maintain a positive social identity, fitting in with our group, can be a stronger motivator than our individual ethical code. If consuming fast fashion is a normative behavior within a valued social group, the desire for conformity often wins. The brain prioritizes convenience, cost, and social belonging over abstract values like sustainability.
Okay, so moving on, let's pivot to the world of romance with our second question. Why do people often pair with others who match their level of physical attractiveness?
An anonymous sender said, it's a subconscious risk assessment, right? I may be a 7 out of 10 on a good day. When I approached someone who I thought is a 10, I got shut down immediately. Zero chemistry. They just looked through me. It was a knock to my self-esteem. Now I naturally gravitate towards others who seem to be in my league. It's about maximizing potential success and minimizing rejection. It's smart dating. I read somewhere it's about balance of power. If one person is significantly more attractive, there's an unspoken tension. The less attractive partner might feel insecure. The more attractive partner might feel like they have a better deal. People seek equity in relationships, not just in chores or money, but in perceived social value. When you match, it feels stable. I totally agree with the equity point. My partner and I are about the same attractiveness level, but when we first started dating, he had way more money than me. Honestly, I felt like I had to compensate somehow. We eventually broke up, and my current relationship is with someone who matches me in looks, career, and personality. When you imagine those core levels, the relationship just has a stronger sense of reciprocity and mutual values. It's easier.
Oh my god, that's so telling. Especially the personal experience in response 6 about trying to compensate.
It perfectly encapsulates the psychological mechanism at play. Response 4 highlights expectancy value theory. We unconsciously calculate the expectancy of success. Will I be rejected? Against the value of the potential partner. Settling for a match is a rational strategy to avoid a painful blow to our self-concept.
So, Colleen, you're saying that dating is just a way to minimize the chances of rejection?
In a way, yes. And responses 5 and 6 zero in on social exchange theory and equity theory. In a relationship, physical attractiveness is viewed as a resource, much like intelligence, wealth, or humor.
So you're saying that if I bring a lot of looks and you bring a lot of humor, does that mean we're even?
Precisely. It's all about restoring that equity balance. If one resource is out of balance, like looks, the brain often looks for other resources to make up the difference to ensure a sense of mutual value and long-term stability.
Whether it's the guilt of an unethical purchase or the pain of rejection from a romantic mismatch, our online forums gives us a raw, real-world look at these attempts at self-justification and rational self-interest. Thank you so much for joining us on the Digital Agora for this deep dive into ethics, attraction, and the social psychology that governs our daily decisions.
If you have a question you'd like us to tackle next, you can post it anonymously on our website.
I'm Nathaniel.
And I'm Colleen.
We'll catch you next time.